Hello everyone and welcome back to Closets Gaming. Today we are going to take a look at Gorescript. This old school action-packed first-person shooter tries to recreate the awesome feeling we had when we first played games like Doom or Quake. It will be available on Steam on the 15th of June for €9.99 or a regional equivalent. So, to be honest with you guys, the first reason I picked this game up for a review was the fact that I sank way too much time into the search lately, and I've been feeling like I've been sort of slacking on reviews. So I was searching for something that would be a quick review. The nice thing is that I feel I actually chose well. So let's get into the review so you guys know why I feel this way. Let's start by talking about the most important things in the game. How exactly it plays. And to be honest, it is quite fun. I won't say I don't have my problems with it, but we will start with the positives. So, the thing I like the most about Gorescript is the fact that it puts you straight away into the action. I really despise when you first have to be subjected to half an hour of cutscenes, story exposition, etc. if you just want to go and smash and shoot things. That's honestly the reason I haven't really enjoyed a lot of recent shooter games. But this certainly isn't the case in Gorescript. You start a new game, pick a difficulty from 5 different options that start at easy and go up to masochistic, choose whether you want to have permadeath and or blackout modes activated, and you get straight into the game and you see enemies waiting for you to start right in front of you. The permadeath is a nice option for people who like to take their difficulties up a notch, and the blackout mode, where you only see enemies that glow and whenever you fire a gun, adds a nice touch of altering the gameplay to make it feel like almost a completely different game. So when you start, you get a bit of starting gear, a hammer as a melee weapon and a shotgun with a few rounds for it. And then it's up to you to go and battle the monsters and find more weapons and even a few pieces of gear to help you with slaying them. Apart from the shotgun, I have seen a machine gun, a railgun and a rocket launcher. You know, the basic set of guns from any old school first person shooter. And from the equipment, I have seen rocket powered boots, without which you cannot jump. Googles that make you drain health from your enemies upon every hit but stop you from using med packs, an item that slowly drains your health and then stops at 1 health. I really didn't like this item very much, and even a few others. And since we mentioned the weapons, I think it's a good time to talk about the first problem I have with the game. The weapons don't really feel really impactful. The only thing that helps this, and it's only for one of the weapons, the shotgun, are the sounds it makes. Otherwise, since the enemies barely stagger when you hit them and just a few red blocks fly off when you hit them with the weapons feel like you almost aren't hitting them at all. If you didn't have the enemy health bars, you probably wouldn't even know that you hit the enemies at all. So while we're on the topic of things I don't like, and since we also mentioned it a tiny bit, it's the enemies. Over the course of the levels I have played through, I've encountered a grand total of 3 enemy types, and that number is just too low. There is 1 type of melee enemies and 2 types of range enemies. Maybe there are a few more further into the game, but after the 5 levels I have seen only these 3 types. But apart from these 2 things, I've been having a lot of fun with Gorescript. Another thing I really like about it is the map design. The maps do sort of circle around so you never feel like you are getting lost or anything like that. Plus, it makes backtracking really easy since you don't have to turn around, you just continue forward. And somehow that feels much more pleasant than turning around and going back in your footsteps. So, in general, I really like Gorescript's gameplay. I do wish a few more enemy types would be added in and that the weapons would destroy the enemies in a more brutal fashion, especially with the game having gore in its name. But especially the new enemy types can be added quite easily, and I can imagine even adding new death animations to the enemies wouldn't be that much of a hassle for the devs. And apart from this, the game is fast, feels really precise in its shooting, and the map layout is just awesome. all the things you want from a good shooter. So we are done with the gameplay part of the review, and now we should talk about how the game looks. As you can see from the footage, the game uses these days so popular blocky style, and as I said in my previous reviews of games using this style, I understand why developers use this style, but I'm not the hugest fan of it. But to be honest, it does work pretty well here. The really bright colors for the enemies do help quite a bit in my opinion, because they make the enemies really contrasting against the backgrounds, making them easier to aim at. And as I mentioned in the gameplay part, I do have a feeling that a bit more depth details could and should be added to make a bigger impact. Music and sound wise, Gorescript feels really average. As it is usual with many indie games, the sounds do fulfill their function, but they don't really stand out. Apart from the shotgun sound, that one is pure awesomeness. Performance wise, I don't have much to talk about. The game ran well, I didn't see any bugs and never experienced any crashes. The ideal package. So, in conclusion, Gorescript is a pretty fun little old school first person shooter. It does deliver pretty well on its promise to make you feel like you are playing a shooter from the 90s, but without the things that were actually bad about those games, like overcomplicated map design. It does need a patch or two to add a few more enemy types to be a great old school shooter though. If you're reaching for something to fulfill that nostalgia class for you, it is a decent pickup for you guys. But for most people, I would recommend to wait at least for a small sale. Anything under $7 and then buy the game. Well, that's it for today guys. Hope you liked the review, and if you did, please consider liking it, subscribing to my channel for more gaming reviews, and comment if you had something you would like to add. And if you didn't like the video, well, dislike it. See you all next time with more gaming content.